I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakak Kudash. Double honors unto our apostle elders which rule great millstone well and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom wa abba babal. So I just wanted to, share this with the Israelites, of the hopeful elect that has a spiritual eye to see these things. My daughter, she's 7 years old, which is, seven is a spiritual number, and she has one white hair in her head. My wife found it as she was combing their hair today, and there's one white hair, which means it happened overnight. And I brought it up earlier how May 24th, through the Spirit, I was moved to do my studies a certain way every day. And as you can see, May 24th, which once again, 24 is 12 times 2. The nation of Israel was broken up in twos, and there's 12 tribes of Israel, and 12 times 12 is 144. All right? And I don't want to throw you off this, I'm just using numbers as the scriptures do. There's a verse where it says that the man of sin will be using the number 666. Revelation 13, right? I got it in the NLT. It says, wisdom is needed here. Let the one with understanding solve the meaning of the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, the so-called white man, Esau Edom. His number is 666, right? Well, you got the elect, which is the ones that are going to be saved, all right? And it's 144,000. The spirit is with the 144,000, and them that cleave to that 144,000 that are Israelites that cleave to the house of Jacob shall be saved. It says Revelation 7, once again NLT, and I heard how many were marked with the seal of Yahweh, which is that the Wah, through Yahweh Shai we have the adoption in the Holy Spirit. 144,000 were sealed from all the tribes of Israel. All right, let's get that in the KJV. It says, and I heard the number of them which were sealed. We believe in this truth, and we were sealed at believing. And there were sealed, and they're sealed for salvation, 144,000 of all the tribes of the sons of Israel. So that number 144 has an important meaning to the Israelites that believe. All right, and we're in the 144th day. All right, and the word May, we understand that we're in the month of May in the Gregorian calendar, but May also is a word used for asking for permission, which that's what we're asking. We're asking the Lord to deliver us. May we be saved. May we have the heathen as our slaves, because he is a just power. And then the number 221, I told you about that also. All right. Biblical meaning. All right. Which is to examine yourself. Let me show you. It says, this suggests a connection to divine craftsmanship, which were the works of the hands of the Lord. Collaboration, which you have 144,000 collaborating with the Holy Spirit of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, and balance in pursuing Yahweh's purposes through Yahweh Shai. All right, you're reading. Light, flame. It says what? That in Obadiah, Obadiah, verse. Let me change it back to the KJV. I was reading something else earlier. KJV, and it's in verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, the Israelites, and there shall be holiness, were set apart. And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. The ones that are set apart are the elect, and they're going to be the ones that get these heathen as our possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And we're at the end of Esau's kingdom, so this is the pretty much coming soon. Esau's kingdom is going to be destroyed with nuclear missiles. They're going to lose World War III, and at the return of Yahushua, which is coming to save his elect, the wicked that use that number 666 to promote their wicked agenda, all right, their kingdom is gonna be destroyed. Nuclear missiles, all right, as it's prophesied, as it's written. And the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them, meaning come together in Yahushua by the Holy Spirit, which it says we will remember ourselves and devour them, which we're devouring them with this word, preparing them for the slaughter which the Lord has prepared for them. We're telling them what it is, all right, what the Lord is going to do to them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. They're going to be made extinct. They're trying to make us extinct right now, right? If they had the power to do it, they would. But the Lord is actually going to put that judgment upon their own head. For Yahweh has spoken it, and this is the prophecy. All right. Now, what's real heavy about the hair on my daughter's head, right? It tells you that this can't be done by man. It's the Lord that does this. And her name means favor, holy wisdom. All right. The Hannah Sophia. You see those two names together? Hannah or Kahana in the Hebrew is favor, and then Sophia is Greek for holy wisdom. All right, so her name is favor, holy wisdom, and then she got this hair on her head, and when you go into the scriptures, all right. Let me see, white hair. I know it's in white hair. Let's see. See, it says in Matthew 5, verse 36, which Yahushua is speaking, neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. Right? It says, but let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. See? So we're supposed to be honest, men of truth. All right? Because we can't even change the hair on our head. So who changed that hair on her head was the Lord on the 144th day. All right? And her name is Kahana Sophia, meaning favor, holy wisdom. All right, and I just wanted to share that with the Israelites, because the elect, there's not going to be no deceit in their mouth. All right, so let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Revelation 14:1. And I looked, and lo, and the devil, the so-called white man, he is deceiving. Look at the words that are coming out of Trump's mouth. Why have they changed so much? Because he's constantly lying. The truth doesn't change. That's why we'll be able to stand on this truth like a rock. It says in Revelation 14, it says what? We have a sure word of prophecy. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. That knowledge through that desire which is given to them by the Spirit of the Holy Spirit, right, which testifies of Yahweh Shai. The Spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. All right? So the elect men have that tawah, that desire to prophesy, and they're being moved by the Holy Spirit. All right? And it says in verse 5, and in their mouth is found no guile, no deceit. Their answer is yea or nay. For they are without fault before the throne of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. They're innocent through Yahweh Shai in front of Yahweh. So they're going to be delivered instead of being destroyed. And these are the men that are going to start the earth over with the Israelite women, and we're going to get the other nations for slaves that hide in the bunkers on other sides of the world and in the caves of the other side of the world while America's destroyed by nuclear missile. When the smoke clears, the Israelites are going to be ruling. We're going to repopulate, and we're going to have the other nations in slavery. All right. All right. So here it is in Proverbs 16, and I'm going to go to the translation comparison. And it's talking about the silver hair or white hair. All right. Which you got elderly people, senior citizens that have a lot of white hair, and that's supposed to represent, experience, wisdom, that they lived a long life, so they've been through a lot. So they should have knowledge. All right. And it says in KJV, the hoary head is a crown of glory if it be found in the way of righteousness. Let me get it. And here it says, gray hair is a crown of glory. And that's what I'm glorifying, is that Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, changed the color of her hair on her head, right? And on this day, 144, and the reason it stood out to me was my daughter, that's the one that told me her dream, that she dreamed, I found an emerald that represented, I found the kingdom. And she said she dreamed that I was digging and I found it, and we know that we're digging in this knowledge, right? We're laboring in this wisdom, right? It says, gray hair is a crown of glory. It is gained by living a godly life. And that's a godly life, to dig in this truth and to stay meditating. As it says in 2 Corinthians 13, it says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahweh HaMashiach is in you by the word through the Holy Spirit, except ye be reprobates, ye lack judgment. But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates, but of the hopeful elect. So it says in Isaiah 33, let's see, 33 and verse 5, it says, Yahweh exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He had filled Zion, the Israelites, starting with the elect, with judgment and righteousness. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. So you're going to be meditating on these scriptures day and night. Psalm 1 verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, which is the word, and Yahweh Shai fulfills that word. He is that word. He comes in the volume of the book, the Holy Scriptures. And in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, the truth that bringeth forth his fruit in his season amongst the elect men. His leaf, his life also, shall not wither, and whatsoever he doth shall prosper. Because it says, if you ask anything in the name of the Lord, he'll do it for you. But our mind, our tawa, is in the way of the Lord. It's not like we're trying to do our own thing. It says, the ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff, which the wind driveth away, the nuclear destruction. Therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahweh knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Which it tells you in Acts 2. All right. It says in verse 16, but this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel, which this is Peter, and he's saying what's happening is the prophecy of Joel, which is said, the prophet Joel said through the Holy Spirit, and it shall come to pass in the last days, which we're living this prophecy out today, saith our power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams, and on my servants and on my handmaidens I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. And I will show wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath. But which that's strange to see a little kid get white hair, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. Eventually, the nuclear destruction of America. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and notable day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, shall be saved. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. Yahweh Shai of Nazareth, a man approved of power, he did miracles among you by miracles and wonders and signs which Yahweh did by him in the midst of you, as ye yourselves also know, him being delivered by the determined counsel and foreknowledge of power. He knew things before it happened. Ye have taken, and by wicked hands have crucified and slain. It says, whom Yahweh hath raised up, which he was resurrected 3 days later, having loosed the pains of death, which he defeated death, because it was not possible that he should be holden by it. Now he's immortal. For David speaketh concerning him, I foresaw the Lord always before my face, for he is on my right hand, that I should not be moved. And that's my point. We don't have to fear. We see the evidence of the Lord working in our lives. These Christians, they don't got that. All right. These Islamic people, they don't got that. All right. In their false religion, in the college system, they ain't got that. All right. In any field in this world, it says if you sow to the flesh, you shall reap corruption. But if you sow to the spirit, you shall receive everlasting life. It says in verse 26, therefore did my heart rejoice, and my tongue was glad. Moreover, also my flesh shall rest in hope. With that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ha-Rakakwadash, double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule great millstone wow, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abba.